Hello everybody, welcome to PGX. We are Steel City Speedsters. My name is Turanite, and we just came out of a Kaizo run of Mario Odyssey, and now this is technically not Kaizo, but it is Kaizo-esque in nature. Hard mode is not a mod of the game whatsoever. This can be done on most actual legitimate copies of the game through a form of safe corruption. For the purposes of timing and everything, we are actually going to start the run with already having done the thing that gets us into hard mode. So what is hard mode? Hard mode is essentially a corrupted save file of the game past the tutorial where you start the game with 0 cards. This is a card game. We have no cards. How are we actually going to do it? Well, I am about to start right now. The run technically has not started. I'm going to count us down, but technically the process has already begun to actually get a very special card. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go. So let's see if I can get this. And hopefully we get a... Okay. Not yet. So basically the way this trick works, so this entire game is dictated by frames. Every single frame basically constitutes a very different thing. So what happens is this free booster pack can potentially give us a Hitmonchan. And if we can time this right. There we go, perfect. Second try. Oh my god, that I cannot tell you how absurdly difficult that was. By the way, to actually pull this off, there is a 5-frame window for me to hit the read mail option from the moment I reset the game. I do a soft reset. And I have exactly 17.145 seconds to actually hit the read mail option. And getting it second try, by the way, I did this not with like a special timer or anything. I did it with my iPhone. So I was eyeballing it and trying to time it at 17.145 seconds. Yeah, that is, I make things a lot harder for myself. What can I say? This is hard mode. We have to, there's no such thing as making things easy for ourselves. So, we can naturally now start the run proper, believe it or not. So, with Pokemon TCG, it's essentially your run-of-the-mill Generation 1 game. It's essentially card game red and blue, 8 gyms. You basically go through all across the overworld and try to collect all the 8 gyms. They're called medals in this game, but that's neither here nor there. So, the cool thing about Pokemon TCG, the Game Boy Color version, I should say, is that the game is very open-ended. You can tackle a lot of the route however you want. Now, the thing about doing this on hard mode is we only have one Pokemon and a 60-card deck. Half of the cards actually don't even do anything. They are 1000% worthless. Because the way you play Pokemon TCG, in case you never played it, the way attacking works is every single attack in the game has an energy requirement that mostly corresponds to the type that the Pokemon is part of. Hitmonchan is a fighting type. We mostly need fighting energy cards to be able to do this. So, the problem here is that half of the deck is not fighting energy. So I am hopeful... Ooh, beautiful sight. And a second Hitmonchan. Wow, that is... You know, I don't want to count my chickens before they hatch, but that is already an exceptional booster pack to get. The way this route constitutes... There are 4 booster packs in this game. There is Coliseum, Laboratory, Mystery, and Evolution. The way the route works here is we want to try to collect as many of the Coliseum booster packs as early as possible because those are the ones that have the most amount of cards. I'm resetting on that one. That is a 4 versus 1. I'm not winning that one. Or either way, if I win this, it's going to take an eternity to win this. We are resetting to try and see if we can get as maybe like a 1 versus 1 or a 2 versus 1. That is... I wish we could get a quick win here. Unfortunately, no, but that is fine. Because hopefully, if Heather does not put in another Pokemon, okay, it's a Ditto. Who cares? The Coliseum booster pack gives us, as you saw in the last fight, Scyther and Hitmonchan, a second copy of Hitmonchan. And well, you saw right there that we drew it. It also has stuff like computer search, which allows us to get any card from the deck added to our hand. We all just got to discard 2. Or we can get a Dugtrio, which, honestly, I desperately need, because that is our win condition for the end game. And if I cannot get a Dugtrio, we are going to have to literally invent a strategy on the fly. So that's gonna be fun. I think we're all gonna have fun here in this here PGX. So thankfully, the early game is pretty fortunate for us to be able to kind of farm a lot of the booster packs, and thankfully a lot of the Coliseum booster packs, they are against opponents that can be beaten with just one Hitmonchan. Michael right here is going to be a very tough one, because Michael, for anyone that played back in the old school TCG, back in the late 90s, early 2000s, may recognize, well, we already beat him, so, you know, no point in mentioning cards that he already had, but he has stuff like Hitmonchans and Hitmonlees and Electabuses and Magmars, as you saw right there. All right, Hitmonchan number 3, that's cool. Not complaining, but I would like to see a Dugtrio at one point. We have 6 booster packs that can give us a Dugtrio, and if I can't find one of them, like I said, we're gonna have to invent stuff on the fly, but at the very least, I'm just very fortunate. I'm very, very lucky and very, very happy to actually get the run going with a second try yeah, we call the thing that got us the Hitmonchan in the first place, it's called mail manipulation. It is a trick that you can, if you are able to study a lot of the frames and what each individual frame gives you on that free booster pack that you get at the start of the run, you can essentially manipulate to get any card you want, and so long as you're able to hit the exact frame that that card provides. So thankfully, that's kind of basically setting the stage a little bit, and it's just going to be some more Hitmonchan slams for a little bit. So, Threech, if there's anything you'd like to say, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much. I'm so excited for this because I've watched this run before when we were at Techo, and it goes so quickly. I just want to remind everyone, we're very excited to be raising money this weekend for Assemble Pittsburgh, which is located in Pittsburgh's Garfield neighborhood. They provide a lot of services to the community, including a unique gallery space where they host a free monthly exhibition during Penn Avenue's First Fridays, which allows local artists to showcase their work and engage with the community. If you haven't been to a First Friday on Penn Avenue, it is so fun. You can just walk up and down the street. It's a very just safe, welcoming environment. There's usually food, there's drinks, there's art, there's all sorts of things. So you should absolutely check that out. And if you can donate to Assemble, because we are raising money to fund their after-school program to make it so that kids don't have to pay for it. And that is awesome.
Love to see. I love the donations that we've gotten all on this first day. It's a wonderful cause, and I'm so happy and grateful for all the people who have donated up to this point, including the donation to just give us an absolute legend of a boss fight that we got later on in the run. Which, oh boy, that's gonna be quite something. I cannot stress this enough. This boss fight that we got, that we unlocked with the by meeting the incentive, has what may very well be the greatest flavor text in the history of card games. Even better than those Yu-Gi-Oh cards whose flavor text were written as if it was Joey Wheeler from the anime, in his Brooklyn accent. I am not joking. First of all, if you've never even heard of those cards, yes, those cards actually exist, believe it or not. So the one cool thing about the fact that we now have multiple Hitmonchans is that we can now tank getting our Hitmonchan getting knocked out, if it ever came to be. The thing about hard mode is the fact that you're kind of working with, you're assuming, oh my god, one Dugtrio, perfect. Wow, that is extremely, on this booster pack, that is, I can't lie, that is actually quite a rarity. That is a roughly, if I do the math, like 3.7% chance of that happening. So actually really happy. Wow. Yep. The first time I had to reset because of a dead hand, unfortunately I had no fighting energy. This is what I warned you about. The fact that sometimes the cards that we get are just literally useless. I literally could not attack with any cards that were in the hand. So thankfully, resetting here takes no effort whatsoever. And one thing about resetting is the fact that, like, sometimes when I see that there's, like, 4 Pokemon that my opponent has, we can just simply reset and just reroll the RNG to make it in our favor. Which helps, because the way you win in Pokemon TCG typically is one of 2 ways. You take away all your prize cards and you automatically win. But doing that takes a little bit of time, and we ain't got time for that. So one thing about taking away prizes is we knock out a Pokemon, we take 1 prize. However, if we can knock out our opponent's Pokemon before we get to collect our final prize, we win automatically. So that's where a lot of the resetting kind of comes into place, is we just essentially try our best to make sure that we can face as few Pokemon as possible, and that way we can automatically win. So that's kind of a bit of the preamble of the early game. Now, this might take a while with this boss fight, Amanda. Amanda is maybe one of the most annoying and possibly route-altering changes in the history of this game. I'm not even kidding. Amanda is a member of the Water Club Trainer. Now, you may think to yourself, okay, what does she have? Clearly, we're seeing famous Water Club, water-type Pokemon Jigglypuff. But of course, you know, obviously, no trainer has just 1 Pokemon. Her other ace, her real ace, is not Omanite, which is a water type, but her real ace is Scyther. Can someone please explain to me why a Water Club trainer would have a grass type as her ace? We saw it right there? Okay. Normally, if I was running any percent, I would actually be kind of afraid. Because I would be trying to run this as if I was doing with only 1 Hitmonchan. Doing this with Charmander and Hitmonchan actually is relatively slow, because there is a lot of, like, potential, like, you pull Charmander up, go up against a water type Pokemon, or Hitmonchan against a Scyther. But for marathon purposes, we go with this hybrid deck, which ended up actually working out perfectly. No problems whatsoever. Knock on wood, but this early game is absolutely amazing. All right. And we're going to keep on rolling because we have a Scyther. Scyther kind of guarantees us a win. Because this is where we're actually going to get our first badge. Or medal in this game. They're called medals in this game, but whatever. Nomenclature aside. And, ooh, we got a double colorless energy. This actually is perfect. So, the way weaknesses and resistances work in Pokemon TCG is the following. If you hit a Pokemon for their weakness, damage is doubled. If you hit for resistances, damage is whatever number it's going to be, you take 30 away from it. Now, I say that because Scyther resists every single Pokemon in Gene's deck. And I haven't started the fight yet because I want to preface it by saying the boss fight in this music is absolutely amazing. I'm going to shut up for about 20-30 seconds because this music is amazing. Yeah, no, this music is just absolutely incredible. In my opinion, this is the best song in the entire game. I mean, the entire soundtrack of this game is absolutely phenomenal. And finally, we can actually attack. Honestly, the one thing to worry about Gene is not even so much about beating Scyther. Nothing in Gene's deck can actually beat out Scyther. But that Rhyhorn is a bit of a stall tactic because Leer operates differently in the regular games. Leer, what it does, you flip a coin. If it lands head, your opponent cannot attack. However, there is technically some shenanigans we can pull that was technically illegal in the card game back in the late 90s, but they have since made the tactic illegal because it is something that could very easily be taken advantage of and kind of nerfed a lot of Pokemon in those types of status moves. Unfortunately, we would have needed either a second Pokemon or a Mysterious Fossil. We didn't draw either. Anyways, no problems whatsoever. We got our first gym badge. Scyther didn't even take a single point of damage in that entire fight. Just to show just how incredibly strong site there is. The booster pack art rewards that we got with the early game, I can't stress how incredibly good that is, because I really didn't highlight it, but this next section would have been a pain in the rear end if I did not get an Electabuzz. We would have had to go invent a strategy on the fly, but because I have Electabuzz, oh, this has gone so much better. I'm going to put a switch here. The really interesting thing about this category is the fact that you are forced to literally adjust on the fly and make up new strategies and think of playing the game in ways you could not really imagine. You're using Pokemon potentially in ways that you're not really meant to in a speedrun, but because of the nature of the fact that you hardly start out with anything more than a Hitmonchan, and, you know, Booster Pack RNG could go very well against you, you could basically be dealing with the, oh, well, I only have Hitmonchan for, like, the first half of the run, but thankfully, Booster Pack RNG was pretty good. Granted, some of it was manipulation on my end, where we were able to route out things in such a way to where I can very easily be able to do some of the stuff that I am doing and winning fights as easily as I've been. But yeah, this is going exceedingly well, which is great, because this next section, the section that we're coming up is the Electabuzz section. Does have quite a bit of some annoying fights, especially in not the next one, but the two fights afterwards. Which, honestly, whether or not we actually even get to commence those duels depends entirely, almost, on our opening hand and what the first turn actually happens. Ooh, that's a super energy removal that I drew. That is actually a pretty useful card, but I'm not going to put it in yet. I will save until I have to edit my deck next in a couple of fights. Now, we went from Amanda, who was one of the most annoying fights in the game, to Sarah, who is her sister, and also the easiest fight in the game. In fact, this fight almost never, and I mean almost never, necessitates a reset. Of course, I may be setting myself up for failure because I set it out into the universe, and Sarah and the game can obviously hear me and make this fight, you know, harder than the final boss, but I'm willing to roll that dice. But while we kind of go through this fight, Threech, anything else you like to mention?
I have so much to say. Thank you. Speaking of good energy into the universe, or just energy in general, I want to say thank you to Automatic Habit for the $10 donation that says, sending my energy to will a Doug Trio into one of these Coliseum packs. Good luck, Toro.
Aw, thank you. Well, we did get one Doug Trios, which is honestly more than I would like to say in past runs. I've grinded this run. I'm literally one of 3 people ever to have beaten this category under an hour. It is, and I'm not even joking when I say it is one of the proudest achievements I've ever had in my speedrunning career, beating this game in this category in under an hour, because it is, you can literally play perfectly, and if the booster pack RNG is like so atrociously out of your favor, there is nothing you can do. But thankfully, this is, for hard mode, this is kind of about as good as I can hope for. Maybe arguably better, safe with maybe only getting 1 Duck Trio, but I've had plenty of hard mode runs where I don't get a single Duck Trio and we have to invent stuff on the fly, which is, ooh, it's a spicy meatball, let me tell you. Alright, now that we cleared all the trainers in the Water Club, we can now face Amy. And I'm going to actually take a look at my deck and see if there's anything else. Energy removal is good. Super energy removal actually is also pretty useful. Full heal, oh, very much so. Maintenance, maintenance is a card that I typically don't put in with regular any percent glitchless. However, because of the way the cards we have and the way it's structured, we kind of have no other choice but to actually, you know, alter things a little bit with how we are constructing a deck. We're basically now focusing more on draw power and getting as many cards as possible, because even though we've got a lot of great cards with the early game, there are still aspects of this deck where it's either not great in terms of balance, It's got good synergy, but not a lot of ton of balance, and there are still some cards where you are kind of thinking like, it's still not amazing per se. So, thankfully, now this will be interesting. Can I actually... Okay, never mind. If that first coin flip landed tails, I would have actually reset, and we would have done actually something really cool with this game. So, the way Pokemon TCG works, I had mentioned that this game... Okay, actually, I'm gonna try to see if I can take care of this War Turtle right now. Okay, see if this lands heads. Okay, unfortunate, it did not. What I was trying to do is... Okay, so remember when I said at the start, everything in this game is dictated by frame. It's a running frame counter. Now, imagine a buzz. No, I'm not gonna make the buzz joke every single speed run has ever done. Okay, that is... Ooh, that is... This War Turtle, yeah, no, he does not get to, does not get to attack me. No siree. Now this will be interesting. Okay. Heart of the cards, guide me. Okay. Interesting. This is interesting. Let's see if I can somehow... This might potentially reset the entire fight, but I want to see if there's some magic I could do. Is this going to land heads? Perfect. Okay, beautiful. Okay, so what I just did, essentially, what I was trying to explain. Everything in this game is dictated by frames. It's running, it's every single thing. Except in one instance. The duel itself. The RNG is completely frozen. However, there are ways to unfreeze the RNG. A number of ways, such as flipping a coin, changing one thing in the deck and the turn prior, shuffling the deck itself. All of that unfreezes the RNG by one frame. We call this tactic advancing the RNG, because it advances it to the next RNG, which is more than enough because all it does is completely re-randomizes everything. So because of the way I kind of structured it, I made it so I made Electabuzz kind of attack at a later turn. It basically, the programming and the code kind of altered things in a way where the RNG kind of advanced to that next figure. So, this is our rival, by the way, Ronald. We chose Magnemite for one specific strat. It's got Self-Destruct. It's an incredibly powerful move. It's gonna take care of this Charmander 1000%. Like, you know... Oh, dear. I made a grave miscalculation. We lost. Anyways, on to the next fight. But before we do, actually, because we met the incentive, I need to talk to this NPC to trigger the boss fight. So don't worry, okay. You know what, Magnemite strat, it didn't work. The boom strat did not work, but we will have another chance to execute it. I think, I feel really good about the Magnemite boom strat on our next attempt. I feel really good. I feel it in my bones. Trust me, everyone. I think it's going to work. While I'm setting up this deck, because we're about to go into another boss fight, anything you'd like to say, Threech?
There absolutely is. Thank you. I want to let everyone know we've opened up another incentive. And if you're enjoying Steel City Speedsters at PGX and you want more, we have a new incentive for you to add Cat Quest Any % Current patch run by Alara to our Friday night schedule. So Pokemon TCG does not have to be the end of the night. We would be so excited to bring that to you to see Cat Quest, which is an isometric adventure game full of puns, and that goal is $20. So if we can get donations to add to up to $20 or one $20 donation, that'll put us past $150 raised for this event, and we will be able to see that extra run of Cat Quest. So if you would like to make a donation to make that happen, don't forget to add that incentive at the bottom of the page on the donation screen.
I cannot stress how much I would like to see Cat Quest be added in. So only $20, everybody. Let's see if we can get that. Okay. Let's see if I will have to do this fight. Okay. Alright. RNG is frozen on a frame where that coin flip is tailed. However, we shuffle the deck. Let's see if I can do this. Okay, no. But what if we try again? Let's see if we can get another one. Like, shuffle the deck again. Oh, actually, no, never mind. what I wanted to do is try to search out Dugtrio, but that Dugtrio is coming out in 3 turns. So if I haven't won the duel by then, we're gonna win. I mean, we're in no danger of losing. Much like Scyther against Gene resisting fighting types, you've been seeing this entire time. You've been seeing this entire time Isaac trying to attack Diglett, and it's technically landing hits. It's just not actually doing any damage whatsoever. So all it is literally doing is using stall tactics to paralyze me. However, here's one clever thing about Pokemon TCG. See, I'm paralyzed. I can't attack. Now I can. Evolution heals any status effect whatsoever. So now that we have that trio, we pretty much won the game. It's not even... I cannot stress how powerful Dugtrio is in Pokemon TCG. In this game, in the speedrun, Dugtrio is king. It's so strong, we use it in the endgame where the aces of every single trainer in the endgame resist Dugtrio, and it's still the best option available. That's how good Dugtrio is. We have it... Oh, that's actually wonderful. You may not have seen it, but that was a Articuno that we drew. That could very well be what we end up using for the first fight of the endgame. Depending on what the rest of our water type Pokemon look like, Articuno could very well be it, and I am more than okay with that. Alright, so now comes a pair of fights that are kind of annoying in my opinion. So, Ken and Murray, the next fight coming up, they're both leaders. Ken is the leader of the Fire Club, and Murray is the leader of the Water Club. Not Water Club, I'm sorry, I meant Psychic. You're gonna notice that these trainers have a lot of tactics where you basically do a lot of stall tactics. Chansey, he could try and set things up to where he can just simply try to attack, but he's not gonna. In fact, what he's going to try to do is use Chansey to use, I think the move is called Pounce, to try and stall. Essentially, what Pounce does is flip a coin. If you land heads, your opponent cannot touch you in his next turn. So, ooh, that is... This actually might force a reset, depending on what happens. What does he have on the bench? Diglett can KO... Okay. I'm not in danger yet. Yeah, gonna go for it. That is an interesting quirk that you don't see too often, where if the AI is about to have his Pokemon knocked out, typically he won't try to do something to basically force another attack or add more energy to that Pokemon. But it is kind of interesting how he actually went for the attack. Okay. Yeah, this is what I'm talking about. A lot of dead cards here. I need the trio right now. No, unfortunately. Reset. You know what? The fact that it's taken this long into the run for us to actually be to get to a point of like a long fight, still forcing us to reset in hard mode. Can't lie. Actually, this is actually a really impressive run, all things considered. But while we are, this might be a situation where probably are going to require a little bit of time. So, Threesh, you are more than welcome to basically kind of talk your mind out about anything for the next next like minute or so, maybe 90 seconds.
Amazing. Thank you so much. I'd like to just say a special thank you to the folks bringing their communities in for raids to support us here at Steel City Speedsters. Thank you so much for that. I'd also like to say thank you so much to Link HS for 2 donations. The first is a $5.09 donation that says, "Good luck, Toro. Wishing you good cards and coin flips." And as I mentioned before, we want to see that Cat Quest bonus run after this. And Link HS also sends in $5.01 that says, "I like cats and I like quests, so of course I want to see Cat Quest." That brings our total up to over $152, and we are so excited. We believe that we can push some more on that total and get up to the $20 total that we are aiming to raise to see that extra Cat Quest run. So if you'd like to make a donation, please feel free to use !donate in chat to get that link, and we'd love to see that total go up.
This is interesting. Okay. I didn't really talk about this too much. Prize cards, as I mentioned, are the main way we win duels. However, those cards come from your deck, and I was trying to search for the trio. So now we're gonna do something we call prize scumming, and see, yep. So the one good thing is that every single prize card in the game is exactly the same when the duel actually starts. So all we gotta do is just reset until we find the right card. I'm gonna guarantee you it's gonna be the last prize we look. It's gonna be the... It's gonna be the last one. It always is. It always is. In fact, I'm willing to bet I'm not gonna go for bottom right corner, but it's gonna be on the bottom right corner. Actually, no. Ed, you know what? The game made a liar out of me. How dare you? I don't even know why I reset on that one when it's already there. I think I was just shocked that it actually was not the bottom right corner. Anyways, we kind of just won the duel because Earthquake, go win, Burr. Yeah, there's literally nothing he can do. Now, the trio win, go, Burr is a balanced strat for nearly every fight, except for Murray. Murray has one little wrinkle to the fight that makes the trio actually kind of a double-edged sword in that under the wrong circumstances, you evolve the trio at the wrong time, you actually are forced to reset. He has a Mr. Mime, and Mr. Mime is one of the very few Pokemon in this game that have a Pokemon power, which, you know, for people who play Pokemon TCG nowadays, they may be like, well, look, nearly every Pokemon has a passive ability like that. This is 1998 to be more exact, I believe. Mr. Mime has the ability of any, and I mean any move that does more than 20 damage is automatically nullified. Unfortunately, the trio's weakest move does 40, so it literally cannot touch. It literally cannot touch Mr. Mime. So that is why I'm being a little bit... I'm being a little cautious with when to evolve. In fact, I'm gonna keep it. Thankfully, we have Hitmonchan. So Hitmonchan is our counter. But I also have to be, you know, still very, very careful with how I want to handle this. But if all Murray's gonna do is just bring out a bunch of normal, colorless Pokemon types, which, by the way, colorless is what's, you know, flying slash normal types. This game only has 7 types. There's no like 15 types or however many types there are at this point in the game, in the franchise right now. There's only 7 Pokemon types. There is... Let me see if I can do that rattle off really quickly. Fire, water, grass, lightning, fighting, psychic, colorless. Oh my god, I can't believe I actually got it all in one go. By the way, have you noticed that the psychic gym leader has yet to throw out a single psychic type in this entire duel? It's been all Snorlax and Kangaskhan. Great psychic gym leader.
Maybe that's the actual psychic trick there, is they're trying to psych you out by not pulling any psychic Pokemon.
Boy, Murray sure showed me, you know, bamboozled, I should say. In fact, I might need to actually take a breather and go with all reliable Magnemite Boom. Now, last time, we lost. Now, everybody, do we think that Magnemite can win us this duel? Do we think that he can actually pull off the impossible and create a miracle? I believe in the Magnemite Boom strat. We'll see if it works. Here's Ronald. He just exudes that smell you later. Like, he calls his deck the powerful Ronald deck. What a jerk. So
that is a very strong name.
So, you know what I'm gonna do? You know what I'm gonna do? We're gonna blow it up. Like 1,000%. We're gonna blow it up. And guess what? We are going to win this duel. And oh wait. I may have miscalculated. I may have added some numbers wrong. If you haven't made it, if it wasn't made abundantly clear, the strat with the rival fights in this game, you're actually you lose on purpose because winning actually loses you time, because winning takes a lot more effort, and you actually get a special cutscene by being given a special card if you beat them. None of those cards you get from beating your rival actually does anything. They are not good for a speedrun. So that is why we try to go as fast as possible, and Magnemite Boom Strat is the winner in that department. So now comes one of my favorite parts of the run, which is going with an alt psychic deck, starting with Mewtwo. If this opening hand is a winner, we essentially guaranteed ourselves with a win, because Mewtwo is just an absolute beast. Of course, Mewtwo, of course, being actually good in a Pokemon game. Come on, can I? There we go. This is the perfect hand. It would be better if I go first. This hand is literally perfect. Because normally, Mewtwo requires 2 turns to actually... Yeah, Mewtwo typically requires 3 energy, meaning 3 turns to set up just to be able to attack. However, he has a move where if you have energy cards in your discard pile, which is, you know, like your graveyard or whatever you want to say. Oh, could this be a problem? Never mind, it's not a problem. If you have energy cards in your discard pile, you can add 2 of them to Mewtwo, meaning Mewtwo can attack on turn 2, and the quickest way to do that is by drawing Professor Oak on the opening hand. That is what we did. We get a very quick win. This is a fight that actually could have gone very, very sideways. So we are actually doing exceptionally well. But now we have a very special club. What's your favorite Pokemon type, Threech? Mine is the Psychic type. That's right. Remember when I said there were 7 Pokemon types in this game? I meant it. They had so few Pokemon types, they had to invent a type for a gym to actually appear, and it's called just the Science type.
I mean, I dig it. I think that sounds great.
yeah, sure. It works, I guess.
Porygon, I guess, might be a Science type.
I don't know if you've fully seen the run from before, or the Techo run where we were last time. Rick actually does have a Porygon, believe it or not.
Perfect. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm just gonna pretend that I pulled that out of nowhere because I did.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Okay, this is kind of an interesting, bit of an interesting conundrum that I got going on. Normally this would require a reset, but because of the way hard mode it works, you don't exactly have the greatest opening hands to kind of ask for. Okay, but very thankful that I have a relatively easygoing hand where I can tank. Oh, we got a Kadabra. No, never mind. We're good. I was waiting. I was so ready to wait 6 whole turns for Kadabra to show up. Not anymore. We're good. We just won the duel. The only thing that could be a little bit of a problem, and it's not even a problem at this point, is if we get paralyzed. But guess what? I have full heal. So that's not even an issue. Now, do I have anything? Is Grimer... Okay, Grimer does have something going. So, the Grimer on the bench. So here's what we are going to... Oh, wait, no. I already put the energy. That's fine. All I gotta do is bank on a 50-50 shot that this doesn't land heads. See? I planned this all along. I didn't need... You know, I'm so good at this game. I'm just saying.
I think it's incredible that you can control the RNG of those coin flips every single... Like, you're just doing that with your mind.
Every single one. I'm just saying. It's all I'm a psychic. That's why I do so well with the psychic portion of the run. Is because I'm literally a psychic. I can control everything with my mind, even RNG inside a video game. All right. Now comes... We must bid adieu after this fight with the strategy. Oh, this actually... What a way to send it out. This is a great hand against this fight of all fights. So, Brittany is kind of an interesting fight. She has something called the Etc. deck, where it's essentially an island of misfit toys type of situation. Ooh. Alright, this will be interesting. I'm banking on this working. This coin flip needs to land heads. Of course. You said it. I control every single coin flip in this entire game. Even the bad ones. Even the bad ones. I purposefully do it just to add a little bit more drama. I can't make it look all easy all the time. It's called hard mode for a reason.
All according to plan.
But now comes a little bit of a speedrunning Pokemon marathon tradition. Anybody wants to shout out their favorite Pokemon? Do a donation in terms of whatever your favorite Pokemon is. Make a donation equaling to its dex number. As in, like, so for example, say, Mewtwo's your favorite Pokemon. So that would be 150, if memory serves me correctly. So that'd be, I don't know, what, $1.50, $15, $150? I'm saying,
If you do that, we will be so easily on our way to meeting that Cat Quest incentive. We're just over a quarter of the way there, and we need to meet it by the end of this game. We just need $20 to make that happen, folks, so if you're able to donate, now's a good time for the Dex donations. I'm
just saying, this run has been going exceedingly well. We are, knock on wood, we are kind of really, really ahead of schedule where we are supposed to be at this point of the run. But, obviously, we haven't even gotten to the hard parts yet, so obviously I'm not resting on my laurels yet. But I'm going to... Pokedex is an interesting one. Might be a bit of a time loser, but it might be something that could potentially tell us down the line whether or not what we have coming up. What Pokedex does is... we look at the top 5 cards of our deck and we arrange them however we want. I don't typically use it for that purpose. I use it to basically fish out whatever we have. Oh, that is safe. No, that is not a matchup. I do not want to see Lickitung. Lickitung will take this fight forever and actually could potentially lose us the match just on that alone.
I feel like I brought this up at the Techo run, but do you know what Lickitung's German name is?
No, I feel like I would have remembered a question like that, but no, go ahead. What is, if you know, what is Lickitung's German name? I'm very curious to know.
Schlurp.
That is the name of all time, I'll say.
I love it so much.
Oh my god. Okay, actually, speaking of Pokedex, what do we have? Okay. Nothing entirely useful right now, but are we gonna get... That's fine. I'm not worried about the Venusaur that is sitting on the bench that can knock us out in one go, because... got no energy. Which means... literally cannot do anything. So, we're just gonna win this, no problem. I believe Venusaur in this game requires 4 energy, as in 4 turns just to set up to an attack. So, yeah, kind of a nothing burger there. So, we have 1 fight left before we get to the man, the myth, the legend, Imakuni. I've been hyping him up this entire fight, and I am so excited. Here's the thing. Here's the thing that I'm so excited about. I'm not going to spend too much time on it. However, if by some miracle I can get him to play his ace card, which is not going to be... I will not have any part of it. He is literally programmed to always play his ace card the moment he plays it. But if he plays it, none of y'all are ready for what actually is going to happen when he actually plays his card. None of y'all are ready for the flavor text of the card itself. But we need to get through Nikki. Nikki, not much to it. It's essentially just going to be hope that the RNG goes in our favor. With the coin flips, it's not in our favor. But, guess what? I have Item Finder, meaning I can fish out anything I want. Do I want to get... I'm getting rid of this double colorless. It's not really needed at this point of the run. But, let's see, what do we got double colorless? Potion would be actually very useful, so that'll be... Okay, we are good for now, but I would like to draw that potion next turn, so I'm not in any danger just to make sure. Execute, ooh, that could be... Yeah, that's why I'm drawing the... That is why I wanted that potion out first. The next few cards are going to be a bunch of dead cards. It's just going to be fire energy, and... Okay, this will be interesting. Okay, so far, no problems, but this will be interesting. I need 1 coin flip. You're probably going to add... Oh, never mind, we win. I was worried that she was going to add a second energy card to Executor, because the way his attack works is You can flip a number of coins you want equal to the amount of energy cards you put in. Every coin flip that lands heads it does 20 damage to your opponent. Opponent down is only 40 HP, meaning 2 energy cards on the Executor does technically mean it can one-shot it. But it does require 2 coin flips landing heads, which is a 25% chance of that happening. Just listen to this music. We haven't even started the duel yet, and his music is already blaring out. For a second. Now, need this to go well. We have 2 options to confront him. I'm going with the tried and true Electabuzz strat. Could still be a bit of a problem because obviously hard mode is not designed to have Imakuni into the route. But you know what? Everybody met the incentive, so we are actually going to do it. So, want to make sure that everything... Ooh, Gust of Wind. I didn't even notice Gust of Wind was in here, actually. That actually works out beautifully. Take it on energy removal. I don't need this many... I do not need this many fossils at this point of the run. Actually, no, hold on. Let's just read these texts. What? You're still here? Okay, sit over there. What? You're already sitting. Okay, then let's get this started. Let's duel Imakuni. You notice there are 2 question marks. One of them is actually part of his legal name. His legal name is Imakuni with the question mark on it. Okay, a 1-match duel with 6 prizes. Whatever that means. He doesn't clearly fully understand the rules of the game. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this card out. Strange life form Imakuni. You can say that again. Imakuni deck?
I love him.
The perfect analogy for Imakuni. By the way, he's a real person. He is a real person that actually works with the Pokemon Trading Card Company as a sort of mascot of sorts. The perfect analogy is that imagine if Zelda had a real-life person playing Tingle. That's essentially what Imakuni is. There are actually cards, I believe, real-life cards that are named after him with just the most bizarre effects imaginable. Come on. Yes, perfect, first try. Okay, Imakuni. Look at this card out. Let's do a dramatic reading as to what Imakuni does. Your active Pokemon is now confused. Yes, his own active Pokemon is now confused. Imakuni wants you to play him as a basic Pokemon, but you can't. A mysterious creature not listed in the Pokedex. Grammatical error, that sentence that it structurally does not make any sense. He has kids around the world. Who is cuter, Pikachu or me? That is the Imakuni card. That first sentence is not a lie. He has confused his own Pokemon. He is programmed to always play this card the moment he draws it. The way confusion works in this game, if he wants to do anything, he's actually not even going to attack the coward. We're going to hope this lands Tails perfect. Okay, come on. Do what I want you to do. Attack, please. I want you to attack. Aw, you're not gonna. Boom. Okay, the way confusion works in this game is you flip a coin if you want to attack or retreat. If it lands heads, whatever action you want to do, it is now successful. However, if it lands tails, you do the equivalent of an attack that does 20 damage to yourself. He does it again. He confused himself again. Okay. Oh, now he's going to do it. If it lands tails, he's going to do the equivalent of a move that does 20 damage of the same type. Psychic type are usually weak against itself. So if it lands tails, he's going to do not 20, 40 damage. Mind you, he has a Slowpoke that only has 40 HP. There is a strategy called the 0-turn kill, where you go second, Imakuni only plays the 40 HP Slowpoke, confuses himself, tries to attack, misses the coin flip for confusion, knocks itself out, you win the duel before you even get to have your first turn. He does it again! I've never seen 3 Imakunis play. Actually, no, that's a lie. I think I've only seen it one time ever. 3 Imakunis in one duel. Oh wait, no, hold on. I meant to use Thunder Punch. As funny as it is for Imakuni to confuse himself, I still actually want to win this in a reasonable manner. So, what is even our deck? I've not even looked at my hand just because of Electabuzz being kind of a pretty strong strat for this. Yeah, we won. literally went 1v5 with one Electabuzz, and I at no point was in any danger of actually losing this duel. We have a category, by the way, this is partially why I really was happy, because his reward for beating him gives you one of every single booster pack. If you beat him 3 times, you get the Imakuni trainer card. So, yeah, very well worth it. Okay, we have plenty of time. So I'm going to go for every single piece of mail to see if there's any actually useful cards actually. I'm going to open here, then close here to actually trigger getting a 13th booster pack that gives us from the mail. So while I am doing this, because we have plenty of time, we are still super underestimate in terms of at the point of the run that we are at. Threech, more Flow Cure. Why do I have 4 Super Energy removals? This is a card that you can, this is a 1% chance card for this to actually appear. Why do I have 4 of them?
I thought you had this whole game scripted out. I thought you didn't tell what was going to happen.
I did say that some of the stuff that I'm doing is obviously for dramatic effect. Of course I'm playing it up.
Fair. Yeah, that's very fair. Well, I would like to let everyone know we are less than $2 away from seeing Cat Quest as our bonus game tonight after we are done with Pokemon trading card games. So otherwise, this is going to be the end of the marathon tonight, and we can't do that. So, folks, less than $2. Thank you so much to Anonymous for the $13.10 donation that says, I want Meower of this Meower-a-thon, don't you? With a little cat face. Thank you so much for that donation.
Okay, so let's see what we were looking at in water. 6 seals, 1 Dugong. Not thrilled about that. I would have preferred the other way around. I don't even have a Magikarp. Never mind. Okay, double Articuno strat it is. I'm actually more than okay with Articuno being used here. Okay. So let's see what our final... Ooh, a 3rd energy search is actually pretty useful. Normally, I wouldn't be needing this many of this type of energy cards, trainer cards, I should say. But again, we make do with what we have. So far, this is a pretty solid deck. We do have more than one way to search out a Duck Trio if need be when we get to that point. I'm hopeful this first fight is a first try, because if I have to reset, we have to go for this small little cutscene. It doesn't waste a whole lot of time, but, you know, loses 15 seconds. It's one of the most annoying fights in the game. So, the Pokemon Dome. Here's the way it works. Every single member of the Dome has a signature legendary bird, or Dragonite for one of them. None of these aces have ever been printed in real life. Or rather, none of them have ever been printed in the real-life card game for actual play. Because the way they are used, some of their Pokemon powers are kind of stuff that the real-life card game never actually accounted for. It's using a level of RNG that there is kind of no rule for it. Moltres, for example, is one such card. This Moltres, we haven't seen the legendary Moltres. Ooh, this is actually not bad. We haven't seen Moltres yet, but when she plays Moltres out into the field, she gets at random 1 to 4 fire energies at all times. Now, here's the thing. Here's the kicker. The game in real life was never meant to have that type of randomness implemented, but because it's a video game, obviously we get to have some fun with that. Thankfully, example from what I said before, that coin flip initially in the tail. So what I did was I used the Pokeball coin flip, since we already have the Articuno, so it's not really much of an issue whatsoever. To waste away that coin flip going tails, meaning it re-randomizes the RNG, which gets up out of the smoke smoke string issue. That is we are confused. Who cares? We have full heal, so boom, we automatically. Okay, pretty painless, Courtney. A little bit stressed out because we were dealing with 2 Magmars. We did not see Moltres in any capacity. Not complaining, but kind of odd we didn't get to see it one time. Anyways, now comes the next 2 fights are probably the most reset heavy in hard mode, because so we're gonna go with Diglett and the trio. Here's the fun little quirk about the legendary, never been printed for actual competitive use in any capacity, Zapdos. When it's played on the field, it does random 30 damage to any Pokemon out on the field. Now, here's the kicker. It bypasses its weakness and resistance, meaning the trio has 30 HP. Diglett has 30 HP. It can theoretically KO Diglett right now, like that. Okay, that's not gonna force a reset. It is still relatively fine. We're gonna see where does the... Okay. Stop following that one. Okay. Now, if you're gonna go for this one... Okay, perfect. The way the randomness in this is it's actually very funky with the way this is implemented. So the way the game calculates that level of randomness is it essentially does 2 coin flips. Because Zapdos can actually attack his own Pokemon randomized, so it does 2 coin flips, or rather, the first thing is a coin flip that it does in the background. The coin flip is which side is the attack going to go through. And then afterwards, it will do essentially kind of like a X-sided die, depending on the number of Pokemon that are on the bench. So obviously, you can't flip a coin if it's like 5 Pokemon on the bench. So obviously, it's kind of basically, it's not totally random. It is explainable, the randomness of it, but there are ways to kind of manipulate it. As you kind of saw right there, I brought in a second Diglett to just kind of be the one that tanks it. Okay, yeah, you saw right there. Yeah, that Zapdos hurt its own Pokemon. Nothing Steve did, nothing I did, at least in that instance. It's just a level of randomness that usually it can be manipulated, but not to the degree where you have full control of it. Sometimes the RNG just is kind of get wonky with that. However, we beat both of those Zapdoses. He does not have a third copy. We automatically win, basically. So I'm very thankful that we actually first tried Steve. That is usually exceedingly rare to happen on hard mode. Actually, it's very rare to get to this point without doing that many resets to begin with. So, I'm glad that we are actually having a great run, because the great run stops right now. And Jack has literally every single thing you do not want to see as a speedrunner in this game. You want to see Pokemon that can inflict status? You got it. Got Articuno and Lapras. You want tanky Pokemon? Chansey. You want Pokemon that can do a ton of damage? Dugong. It has everything. Jack is the hardest fight in the game. And it's not even close. He is legitimately that difficult and is usually the biggest one killer in the end game. That's how difficult he is. Now, what do you get? Okay. Because I know this game like the back of my hand, I know for a fact he doesn't have Dugong right this second. If he did have Dugong, he wouldn't be placing so many different types of energy, water energy, onto different Dugongs. He would be focusing on one, so that is actually really good information to have. Right now, he's not even focusing on getting the... Okay. He might have Dugong, he might not. He might just be trying to hard the cards this. Yeah, he doesn't have it. Okay, no, we're in the clear. Chansey really can't do anything, so I am... Knock on wood. It's going very... Oh, he's got Professor O. Okay, now things are going... Alright, now the fun actually gets to begin. Because... Oh boy! Articuno. This is not the legendary Articuno that is game-breaking... Well, actually, no. This is the quote-unquote game-breaking legendary version of Articuno in this one. Can actually be used in real life because all it does is just flip a coin. If it lands head, your opponent is paralyzed for the next turn. Let's see. What are we at? Okay. I'm not in any danger. I don't need to heal right this second. I will next turn. But I'm not in any danger to heal. I'm hopeful that this lands Tails. Okay, it is Tails. That way, I can... we'll use the Super Potion. And that way, if it comes to be that I do get confused next turn, I have a full heal. But I'm glad I didn't need to use it last turn. Actually, I don't even need to use it this turn. This is actually going... My god, this is going exceptionally well. Okay, we have one more Lapras. We're not out of the woods yet. This Confusion could still hit. 3 straight coin flips landing tails. That's a 12.5% chance of happening. Can we go for 4 straight tails? Unfortunate. Guess what? I have full heal. Confusion does nothing to me. No resetting on the Dome Fruit Jack. That is... That's unbelievable. All right. You remember Lance from the Gen 1 and Gen 2 games where his whole thing is dragons, but he really doesn't have that many dragons because there's hardly that many dragons to begin with? Well, it's kind of the same here. Same applies here. In fact, I'm willing to bet... Yeah, okay. Rod is a joke. He has his legendary game-breaking Pokemon is literally just Dragonite, and the uber strong ability is, oh, it can just heal 30 HP off of 1 Pokemon. Big whoop. Let's see. Are we on... Yeah, we're not in any danger. Magikarp could evolve into Gyarados, which in theory could be a problem. That's not a problem. That Lapras is a problem. That's okay. That's okay. Now we're playing the waiting game and trying to see the Lapras. Okay, I'm not in any danger of getting knocked out. If that Lapras had gone to Water Energy now, then we would have been a little bit of trouble. But no, we are fine. Okay. All right, game. Don't do this to me. We're actually having such a fun time. Okay, we're at PGX. It's been a fantastic time. I've had a lot of fun, not just being a host, but also doing this run. Let's not ruin the vibes, okay? Let's not ruin the vibes. All right, the Lapras could actually gonna go for only Water Gun. That's interesting. Item Finder. No, we don't need Item Finder yet. There we go. All right, Duck Trio. There we go. Yeah, that thing was. Yeah, we were gonna wait a while for this to be under that. Do I want to evolve? Actually, yeah, I want to evolve right now. We're only going to go for Slash, because either way, we were not going to one-hit KO with Earthquake, so that is completely fine. Alright, Magikarp, no problem whatsoever. The only guy left on the bench is Charmander. Could evolve into Charmeleon, but because it's already has 10 HP left, it wouldn't matter. So, yeah, what'd I tell you? Rod, a joke. Made us sweat a little bit with that Lapras, but guess what? I didn't even need to reset once in this fight. I haven't needed to reset in this in this Pokemon Dome so far. So, like I said, this is like a Gen 1 game. Of course your rival's gonna be the final boss. Like, not really much of a spoiler. We're gonna avenge those 2 Magnemines that dearly tried to beat Ronald. Clearly didn't work. So, here's the kicker with Ronald. Ronald has 2 copies of every single legendary ace card that all the previous fights we've had up to this point have. So, yeah, this is going to be quite annoying to deal with. Oh, it's already got... Is it even... Okay. Okay. I'm not worried about Articuno attacking me. Let me ponder this question to you, everybody. What happens if you have Pokemon that is Water type and and Lightning type in your deck? What typically when that happens, you want to put in Water and Lightning energy so that your Pokemon can attack. Ronald clearly does not follow that advice. In fact, Ronald has no Water or Lightning energy in his deck, meaning he can literally never attack with Articuno or Zapdos. Never. He literally cannot. So I am hopeful that... Okay, Energy Surge, this is just so I can see whether or not... Okay, wait, is Dr. even in the deck? Okay, it is. It is literally the 5th bottom card from the deck. Okay, fine. Good to know, because I have a Pokeball. Alright, we're really gonna wait forever. Okay, time for the RNG to kind of go our way, please. Thank you. So we have 2 Pokeballs. Okay, so now I have to wait for the AI to arbitrarily finish up the RNG. But now I'm actually in danger. This actually might still necessitate a reset. Depending on what this coin flip does. Yeah, no. Yeah. It was not meant to be. This is what happens when in hard mode. You normally have more of these types of fights, but this run has been going exceptionally well. But hey, this is the final boss. Of course, you know, not going to be easy. So while we are kind of dealing with this, Threech, probably, maybe, potentially the last time. And in fact, kind of at the point where, like, you have full reign for, like, the next 45 seconds at the very least. While I kind of get, hopefully, a winning hand and winning strategy here.
My goodness, thank you so much. I'm so excited because we have a lot to announce. So, first off, we did meet the Cat Quest incentive. Thank you so much to everyone who donated to make that possible. We are going to see that as a bonus game immediately following this. Not only that, but we've also opened a second bonus game. So there's even more possibility for Steel City Speedsters. We're ready if you are. If we meet that $20 incentive for the second bonus game, we will add Crash 2 any percent with no game over abuse that is run by Stump to our Friday night schedule. Folks, we are so close to raising $200 for the day. If we get that $20 incentive met, we are only $15 away from that total of $200 for our first day. We would love to see it.
All right. Let's see. Come on. Duck Trio? No, but I do have 2 Pokeballs. Actually, I might as well just do this now. Let's see. I'm going to energy removal just because we're going to get rid of this hand right now. Actually, I don't need to get rid of the fossil right this second, but we have 2 Pokeballs. Come on. One of these Pokeballs needs to land heads at some point this century. That's one. Thank you. Watch as this Duck Trio is not even in the deck. Okay. It was the 3rd most bottom card in the deck. Why does this game like to do this to me? It likes to play a sick joke on me sometimes. I mean, of course I planned this entire time. I mean, I don't know what you're talking about. I planned this exactly how it is, just to add a little bit of dramatic flair. But let's see. What does he have on the bench? Nothing that concerns me. Okay. Not going to evolve quite yet, because I don't want to overextend my plays. I could always just simply try. Okay, now I'm at the point. Okay, yeah, now we can evolve. Okay. I wanted to wait and see, like, if there's something that, like, maybe I can just wait. Yeah, no. We're good. Hopefully, if everything goes well, you shouldn't be needing... Okay, this tail whack could be a problem. Actually, no, it's not a problem because I have Gust of Wind. Normally, I would not be able to attack this turn, but because of the fact that I have Gust of Wind and takes Eevee out of play, I automatically am able to attack because the tail whack effect goes away if one of us switches Pokemon. Okay, cool. We just won. Okay, we just won. He has nothing. One more Earthquake for the road. All right, that is it. That is Pokemon TCG. It's not time yet because we have about 30 seconds of cutscenes because Ronald doesn't get to be the only one that gets to enjoy the rewards of becoming the champion. Here are all the different legendary cards that can never be used in real life play because they are not meant to actually play within the confines of the IRL TCG. There's Articuno, Moltres, Zapdos. Here's that Dragonite. You'll probably never see him in a speed run because the 2 players who run it actually are not good at bringing him out. Anyway, time is now. All right. I'm very curious. What is the final time if Cool. This category has been ran 3 times. I was told 1 hour 7 minutes. That is the fastest hard mode run this speed run has ever seen. We have never had a hard mode run go this well in a marathon setting. Not even close. It's never been below an hour 10 minutes. So I am exceptionally happy with how this run went. Phenomenal. Thank you everyone who donated to give us the bonus Imakuni fight. It was everything I could have wished for in that fight and more. It was so much fun. I thoroughly enjoyed it. I could not have done this without... First of all, shoutouts to Alara. Alara was the one who begged me to submit this for this event. And I'm so glad it got in. And I'm so glad I got the opportunity to, again, showcase this game, Pokemon TCG, my very first game that I speedran, near and dear to my heart. It's got a wonderful community. It's not the biggest community in speedrunning, but it is a very tight-knit group of people. We absolutely adore this game front and back, and I run this game a number of different categories. Hard mode, 80% glitchless, all battles. I'm the former world record holder in the all battles category, and yeah, that is kind of it for me. If you want to actually know more about this game, we have a Discord. If you go to speedrun.com and go to Pokemon Trading Card Game, there's a Discord link to it. And yeah, I'm Jornite. I run a lot of different games. If you're curious in seeing me run this game, I also run stuff like Spyro Reignite Trilogy, which we saw kick off this marathon, as well as like OG Spyro and Ghostline Yard and a bunch of PS1 titles and Mario Golf for the Game Boy Color. I run a lot of stuff, everybody. So anyways, that about does it for me. Threech, thank you so much for being such a wonderful host. I'm so happy you were my partner in crime in this adventure. And so, thank you everybody. Thank you PGX for letting us be a part of this. And that is it for me. Hope you all have a wonderful night.